Hey, Puppy Trades! I wanted to do a video analysis update on some stocks that were on the bar chart strangle screener. They're going to be Tesla, Boeing, and Snowflake. Before we get into it, let's look at this post from November 6th. I said the MMs we're buying the 150 strike straddle on Snowflake throughout today for 12, 15, 23, even though Snow was in the lower 140s while it's above 128.56. I suspect they were doing this as part of an accumulation campaign to catch the end of a wave 2 correction before wave 3 to 200. And of course, right after I posted this, Snowflake did explode, not because of their own earnings, but allegedly because of Datadog's earnings. Yes, a completely different company reported earnings, and that caused, quote unquote, Snowflake to get this lucky gap. Did it go below 138.52? It hasn't yet. So that was a perfect hit. Bang! Subscribe to my Discord. This is just something that casually goes on my page. We get the perfect hit, the length of wave 1, placed at the wave 2 low, met for wave 3. So let's just keep going with Snowflake. It's really one of the more easier counts right now. It's on the bar chart strangle screen. Are the institutions looking for the next leg up? They're buying the 180 strike call and the 150 strike put. Remember, this screen is free. So because this screen is free, it only shows the straddles and strangles for the next 60 days out. So are they buying the straddle and strangles again on Snowflake to catch another rally higher? Well, I believe that is the case. It's already gone the length of wave 1, placed at the wave 2 low for wave 3. I believe that this was another wave 1 and another wave 2 within this entire cycle from the June 13th, 2022 low. On the weekly, this is the highest weekly RSI reading, so I do suspect that Snowflake will hold above 138.40, and it will begin a rally all the way up past 237, potentially beyond. So that's Snowflake. But let's look at some of these other ones. We have Tesla and we have Boeing on this screener. Both around, where's Boeing? There it is. Both around that 167, 168 price. So let's look at Tesla right now. I think that Tesla, on the large degree from this low, the most important cycle is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, and an ABC correction from this low. And then from this low, bulls are going to look for Tesla has already broken 152.37. That means from this low, Tesla did not form another wave 1 and another wave 2. So I'm going to delete that, and we're going to talk about what I think Tesla has done. So I think from this low, Tesla has formed a large wave 1, and it ended an ABC wave 2 correction with that big, what some might call an engulfing candle. I'm not quite sure that's the definition of an engulfing candle. We're going to look at these fibs on Tesla right now, see if we can find some downside invalidation levels, and we'll get into some of the evidence that this is an ABC correction that's ending. So some of these levels, I'm going to take the 161.8 to 100% extension of the length of wave A, place at the wave B high. So I'll get that labeled. This is 194.07. And this high is 299.29. So 299.29 and 265.13. So that gives us a one a downside level of 130.40. I think that's a little wide of an invalidation. And this low is 138.80. So what's the argument for the bulls going to be? It's going to be that essentially from this low, on the large degree, Tesla's formed a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse, and it's ended an ABC correction. And that from this low, Tesla's formed another wave 1. I believe this is subdivided 1. I'll get it in the same degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is an ABC correction for wave 5. This is a wave 5 that ends a large wave 1. And then we have an ABC correction to end wave 2. So bulls are going to look for a large wave 3 to begin. And that is the ABC correction that ends right around the 100 to 127.2% extension. So what the Tesla bulls are going to look for, what I'm looking for, I bought Tesla and I bought Tesla. I really took a lump sum position in them, and I've held it for the most part through all of this, collected all these dividends. As Tesla went below the stop, I trimmed the position a little bit, but I still do own Tesla. I still do own Tesla. And if Tesla starts to recover, I'm considering initiating a new position in TSLP, which is very similar to TSLY. That's the yield max version of the Tesla covered call, synthetic covered call, out of the money covered call premium ETF. That's a little bit of a mouthful, but that's yield max's covered call ETF. They have very similar ones for Nvidia, Coinbase, Microsoft, now MicroStrategy. And depending on what the underlying does, depending on the implied volatility, the total returns for those ETFs, I believe, do quite well. So I invested in them. And if Tesla starts to turn around, I'm going to start adding TSLP to my dividend bucket, because Tesla, TSLY, just happens to pay a dividend right before the curve out of the money covered call premium ETFs. So TSLY potentially pays a dividend that I can reinvest into TSLP, running the exact same strategy or a very similar strategy, and get 2 dividends a month. I do this with Amazon and the AMZY ETF, and then the Curve ETF is AMZP. So I'm considering, if it does look like Tesla's going to turn around, adding TSLP. I'm looking for Tesla to begin wave 1, wave 2, and enter a large wave 3. So let's talk about Boeing. I talked about the Dow Jones in a recent video. I'm not going to get carried away with the correlation, but I do think that this is shaping up pretty well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, large wave 1, wave A, an ABC correction. And so I believe that the Dow Jones is incomplete up until it reaches, in the long term, the entire length of this rally, place of this low. That would take the Dow, should I be correct, all the way up to 47,000, the mid 47,000 range for that wave 1, wave A, wave 2, wave B, wave 3, wave C, equal X target. I've got it subdivided. Boeing may not move perfectly with the Dow, and it probably won't, but from this low, I do think Boeing's got an interesting look to it. So zooming out to the max chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, and this is Boeing's highest monthly RSI reading. That may seem like a little bit of woo-woo, but that's a big deal in Elliott wave theory. The largest monthly RSI reading Boeing cycle has ever made is during this high. That's because in Elliott wave, there's a rule that says Wave 5 ends with momentum divergence. So we have a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave sequence. We go down past the 78.6% retracement, which I don't have marked. So wave 1 slash wave A, wave 2 slash wave B, and then from this low, bulls are looking for wave 3 slash wave C, ultimately taking Boeing on a brand new cycle one day into the 300s and into the 400s. So it kind of is that monopoly idea. A lot of scary news about Boeing. I know that's going to go over people's heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. I think that's a pretty clean leading diagonal for Boeing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves for wave 1, and ABC correction wave 2 from this low. I'm going to stick to the monthly right now, and I think from this low, yes, another wave 1 subdivided into 5 waves. Looking at this RSI, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. I think the MMs are getting ready for Boeing. Is there a transportation theme? There probably are some correlates with other airline stocks. Certainly, I would say I've seen a pretty juicy setup in Alaska Airlines and some of these similar readings. But as far as Boeing specifically, I think it's incomplete till, well, it's not technically incomplete, but I think it's going to go up to the 300s at minimum for wave 1, wave 2, and a wave 3 unfolding. And I think the path to get there is looking something like this. This is a large wave 1. This is a large wave 2 that's ending from this low. So I'll get the fibs out. Right at the 61.8% retracement. Beautiful. So this high, just to be exact, 230 on the dot. Really? No, 267.54. And 113.02. So the invalidation is going to be 146. It's kind of tight. And I think Boeing is going to be set to enter a wave 3 of wave 3. And that's why they're buying these strangles. So we'll see. I think that this is how it's going to play out for Boeing, Tesla, and Snowflake. But I have just completely slaughtered Snowflake before. And so why don't you go drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and we can continue to watch the greatest technical analysis that has ever existed unfold right before your eyes.